Good evening, friends. Back to the usual. In the stand tonight, we have my GT Avalanche 1.0. God, that's a lot of light. And it is surprisingly clean for this time of year because I have just scrubbed it. The reason I'm making this video, I just made a little one on basic winter maintenance for cleaning your chain, relubing it, and just keeping it going over the winter. This is kind of hilarious, but I've been meaning to do this for a little while, so I thought I'd do it just now. We have before me, and this may be a controversial topic, but we have some turtle wax, which is typically a car thing, and it is a car thing. It's made for cars, but bicycles have paint too. So this is something I like to do every now and then, and I'll be honest, usually when I'm bored and I don't have much else to do, and I've done all the things I need to do in the day, because it doesn't really, it's not, when you work in a bike shop, I'll get there eventually, I will get to the point eventually, when you work in a bike shop, one of the last things you want to do when you come home is fix bikes, although somehow I kind of still always feel like doing it. I feel like that's a good sign. I feel like I picked the right profession. Lol. You don't always feel like doing it, and doing things to preserve your paintwork isn't something that really immediately always springs to mind as something that, you know, I should probably do that, that's important, right? But it doesn't take a lot to make a big difference. And obviously it's very difficult to get to all of the spots on this bike, especially with the triple triangle. There's lots of these little bits in here that are really tricky to get to. But it's easy to get to the vast majority of the frame. And the vast majority of the frame is where the vast majority of the paint is. So if you can cover that stuff, then you're laughing. What was I going to say? If you guys have any videos that you would like to see me doing, I'm going to be away on holiday in Lyon for about a week next week, so you probably won't see much out of me then. But I am thinking of doing a little bit of cycling while I'm over there, and I might see if I can make my first actual edited video and maybe take some of the sights that I see while I'm over there, some of the stuff I see by bike, and try and put it into not a super long video, maybe half an hour, maybe 40 minutes, a little documentary of my travels in Lyon and how well I can offend the locals with my my solid okay French. Solid okay. Yeah, I'm thinking of doing that. I think that would be quite cool. Well, like everyone my age, I love escaping where I live and traveling to new places. And quite often I do little cheap trips to Europe, so that might become more of a feature on the channel as I do a little bit more traveling. I don't have a huge amount of trips planned this year, but I've got some bike packing trips in Scotland planned. I think I'm going to do the John Muir way, and I think I'm also going to try and do, there's a loop, Cairngorm loop, I think it's like 266k. Apparently you can do it in like 4 days. I will probably take a week to do it, and I think I'm going to do it on this beauty here. I could save up the money, I could build a nicer bike to do it on, but this bike is more than capable. I might put a suspension fork on it that actually suspensions, but to be honest, with the big tires on it, this thing will probably be more than capable for that trip. And I guess one of the reasons I would like to do that this year, I'd like to just see more of my own country by bikepacking as opposed to going super further afield to like South America. And I mean, I'd like to do trips like that in the future, but I think a lot of stuff on YouTube, you know, it's just people all over Europe, it's people going away and away, and a lot of the times those trips are very difficult for most of us to do because, well, we have jobs, we have holidays, and we don't all have passive fucking income streams from YouTube or other businesses. We do regular work where you have to go to a place, the same spot geographically, routinely, and that kind of limits the ability to do those kind of trips frequently, enough to sustain a YouTube channel on. So I'm going to try and do some closer to home ones and some overnighters, and I kind of, A, because I want to, and B, because I think that bike packing is a really cool way to use your bike and to get more out of cycling. Like a lot of people that just get into it, you know, they get into it because it's cheaper than, well, no, they get into cycling because it's cheaper than having a car. But there's so many things you can do on these. You can go fucking on adventures and shit. And I would like to be more of a proponent for doing more of that in the frozen north that is Scotland. Probably most of those trips are probably going to wait a few months until it's a bit warmer. But I might try and do some overnighters because I've got some fairly decent winter camping gear, and do some little adventures as the weather gets warmer. But try and do some before the weather gets warmer. The next few months, just even 2, 3, 4 night trips. I think that'd be really cool. If any of you are planning a trip, I mean, most of my viewers are in the UK. I don't know how many of those are in Scotland and how many of those are in the south, the toasty south, where it's probably already not so bad and you can probably already wear your shorts again. But I'm in the garage wearing 3.5 layers because I think it's about 0 or maybe -2. I can't remember how cold it is, but I don't feel too bad. I'm kind of just acclimatized to it. I think that about covers this video, to be honest. You know, I did that one with the chain cleaner earlier. Yeah, this is actually really good shit. And I bought this bottle, I don't know, months ago. I've used it on my Ragley, which is my nicer mountain bike that has not been on the channel yet. Because I've not really had to do anything on it that I feel like would be... I've not really had to do it. I've been riding it because that's all I've had to do with it. I've not had to fix anything on it, which has been nice. I've used it on this bike. I've used it on a little Apollo folding bike that honestly was one of the coolest bike purchases I ever did. It was like £108. Sweet little bike, really comfy. Well, actually not the most, it's kind of those little folding bikes and small wheel bikes, you have to bimble on them. You can't ride them like a road bike. They're just the small wheels. It's very difficult to keep them up to speed. Yeah, but this stuff is great, and it will probably last me several more years because I don't use it very often, but it is a lot cheaper than buying a lot of the frame sprays that you get for bicycles. Like that bottle I think was maybe £12. Some frame sprays are like 14, 15, 16, 17, 20 quid a can, and they don't last nearly as long. That will last me fucking ages because the surface area you have to like polish up on a bike is pretty minimal. And this is kind of just my wintry pub bike, and to be fair, it's probably going to be more than that. Like during the summer, I'm definitely going to do more trips on it, and it's going to be like my adventure rig. I'll probably upgrade. I might put some disc brakes on it because it's got mounts for discs, and I would like that if I was going to do some bike packing and have more weight on the bike so that it stops a bit more reliably. Because sometimes it's a bit sketch if it's real wet and real nasty. But to be fair, it's fine. It's fine like 99.9% of the time. And you know you can skid out on disc brakes either way. A well set, tuned in rim brakes will serve you pretty well. I'm not going to turn this video into a rim versus disc rant because I don't want to invoke that on the internet right now. I'm loving life. Yeah. But yeah, those are some updates. This is the thing you can do. Get some turtle wax. It's important to obviously clean your frame before you put it on. You can't polish dirt. You can't polish a turd. But you can wrap it in glitter and put it in a shiny box. I'm kidding. No. Make sure you clean the frame first and then wipe any degreaser off that you have cleaned the frame with. And then you don't need a lot. Just take a wee towel and just like dab it on and just rub it in circles and just try and cover as much of the frame as you can. And it does bring a little bit of a pop back to the bike. It's a real good thing to do if you are selling a secondhand bike. Get yourself some turtle wax and just polish it up, and you will be surprised by how shiny and how nice it looks after it. And it does tend to keep the paint nicer for a bit longer. It keeps more crap off the bike. I don't know how. I think it has some special wax in it or something, some caribou wax or something like carib wax. I can't remember exactly what it's called. But yeah, give that a shot. Gonna do some bike adventures this year. Hopefully make some cool videos about them and show you guys some beautiful places in Scotland, and then hopefully in the years to come, maybe some places further afield. But if you guys are planning any bikepacking or bigger trips and ventures, and you're in the UK and you're looking for a friend, looking for a buddy to do them with, then I don't know, hit me up. Could be interesting. We could maybe share the experience, or at least just tell me where you're going. You know, it'd be cool to know where other people are exploring and to hear of other people's adventures. Till the next time, toodle pip.